Hello, friends. What do you think you'd feel if you met a wolf? I sure wouldn't feel anything but fear and panic. This incredible but true story happened in Alaska in the city of Juneau. One evening in 2003, Nick Johns, a wildlife photographer, was out in his backyard with his Labrador Dakota when he noticed a black wolf nearby who just stood there staring at Nick. Worried that the wolf might attack the dog, Nick started to slowly back away, but Dakota suddenly rushed towards the predator. Can you imagine the owner's surprise when instead of a fierce fight, he saw his Labrador and a wolf from the forest begin to run around and play together? This wolf was downright relaxed and tolerant from the start, as if he dropped out of the sky, tells Nick Johns, a former hunter in an interview with National Geographic. Since then, the lone wolf began to come out of the forest to the outskirts of the city more often, getting closer to the houses each time. At first, there was no unequivocal opinion among the residents about the unusual behavior of the animal. Many hesitated between the curiosity and desire to get to know the wolf better and the natural instinct of self-preservation. After all, wolves are typical predators that get food by actively searching for and pursuing prey. Others were worried that the animal might have rabies. But soon the wolf won the trust of Juneau's dogs as well as their owners. It was obvious that this animal wasn't going to hunt. It seemed that the wolf got separated from the pack for some reason and just wanted to socialize. Nick's wife was the first one to call the wolf Romeo. Having seen the familiar silhouette near the house, she said to her husband, "That's Romeo here again." The name stuck to the black wolf. But Romeo wasn't only attracted to his Juliet, Dakota the Labrador. He flirted with other dogs as well, tells Nick. But of course, he had his favorites. For Nick, his interaction with Romeo was, first of all, an opportunity to understand him, after which Nick tried to gain the wolf's trust. In the end, Nick's family got so attached to the animal that they tried to keep an eye on him when possible. In the 6 years of Romeo's interaction with the dogs and the residents of Juneau, Nick Johns made a lot of impressive and mesmerizing pictures, as well as wrote a book called A Wolf Called Romeo. Nick told in an interview that today, so many years later, he can hardly hold back the tears when he's doing a reading of certain places from the book in front of an audience. Romeo was the single most transformative event of my life. I find myself waking up at night and thinking about him. His life and death are not something that I ever expect to get over, says Nick Johns. It wasn't just our understanding and tolerance. It was the combination of his and ours and the dogs. We were these three species working out how to get along harmoniously. And we did, he adds. According to Nick, many of the local residents were so fascinated by this kind of predator that they wanted to get closer to him, but Romeo was very sensitive about his personal space. He typically wouldn't allow strangers to come closer than 100 yards. However, if it were people or dogs that he already knew, he would allow them to come as close as an arm's length. There were a number of times when I could have reached out and brushed my hand along his back as he went by, but I never did, Nick remembers. For 6 years, Romeo was an unofficial symbol of the city, the residents' pet. But one day, he stopped coming to the frozen lake. It turned out that he was illegally shot. The Juneau residents put up a memorial plaque by the lake in honor of the extraordinary friendly predator, Romeo. 7 years after the wolf's death, the residents of the Alaskan city of Juneau will get to see their favorite pet again. An educational exhibit dedicated to the legendary Romeo will be completed in the Mendenhall Center by the end of November. The exhibition is organized by Nick Johns, the first person to notice the unusual predator back in 2003. The wild animal from this moving story teaches us to live in peace and harmony, and also not to violate someone's personal space. Do you agree? Like our video if you do, and we'll see you next time.